There it is. Fantastic. So the stream's up, the chat's up, we're all good to go. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 18 of the Race Spec Esports Tier 2 Pacific Series. It's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix here at the legendary Turismo José Carlos Pache here in Sao Paulo. This 4.31 kilometer, 15 turn racetrack is undoubtedly one of the most legendary circuits on the Formula One calendar. It's a place that naturally develops great racing ever since it was designed back in 1940. In almost any era of Formula One, this racetrack has just developed some of those magnificent and just generally brilliant racing that we have ever seen. We look at the recent past of what happened with obviously years 2019 in real life Formula One. 2012 was another big one. 2008, 2007, the great comeback driver Michael Schumacher in 2006, and of course the 1991 Brazilian Grand Prix, where Ayrton Senna took his one and only victory here at Interlagos, and that famous radio message after that race, where all the emotions that he had built up over the course of that Grand Prix just let out in one massive scream. Somewhat ironically, his great rival Alain Prost is one of the most successful drivers here at Interlagos, with 6 Grand Prix victories at this very racetrack. But enough about that. I suppose it's time to talk about the virtual world here at Interlagos, and somewhat similar to its real life counterpart, this racetrack develops magnificent racing. In fact, last season in the Americas tier, there was a magnificent battle between 2 of the best racing drivers that I have seen on online racing games. A fella named Alpum and a current racing driver named BRT Fast. Both drivers were competing for the title, and they jostled for the lead for every single lap bar one because of a pit stop rotation. They jostled every single lap, and the race itself wasn't decided until they came around Junsao, the final corner, or well, not exactly the final corner, turn 12 of 15 on this racetrack, where BRT Fast, the Brazilian, had a fantastic exit out of there and pretty much secured the victory on the final lap. But it was, honest to God, one of the best races that I have ever seen. So expectations are a little bit high here at Interlagos. I expect some pretty decent racing. But time for qualifying, the 18 minutes of qualifying. Also, really fantastic to see 17 drivers on the grid for tonight's race. I think that is absolutely fantastic to see. But championship, of course, has already been decided, so we don't necessarily have to talk too much about that, with GeForce Dre winning the driver's title all the way back at Suzuka, if I remember correctly. But to take you round this epic racetrack, rather fittingly, is going to be Banana Cake Pie. I know for a fact that this is one of his favourite racetracks on the F1 2020 game, so he'll take us round, heading towards turns 1, 2 and 3 that form the center S here. 3rd gear, 4th gear through the second part, then through turn 3, Curva de Sol. And onto the Retroposta, opens the DRS, 8th gear, heading towards Descida do Lago, which is turns 4 and 5. Very nicely done. Have to be careful here with track extending. It's very easy to do through Ferradura, which is turn 6 and 7, into the hairpin of turn 8, then into turn 9, a corner called Perreirinho, Portuguese for Little Fern Tree, then into Pico de Pato, which is turn 11. Translated, it spells out duckbill. Very fitting name for a corner, going off its shape. Then through Junsao, the most important corner of the racetrack, as it dictates a run through turn 14 here at Subida de Boxes, and the final corner, Arquibancadas, turn 15. And Banana will cross the start-finish line to set a 1 minute 7.3. That is a fantastic benchmark. If I go off the Tier 3 times, the pole position in Tier 3 was a 1 minute 6.8. To just show how quick he is, our champion G-Force Dre only 2/10 down on Banana. So Banana showing his hand early. He's got a lot of pace underneath him. Conrad Strait goes third fastest. 1 minute 7.9. There's a McLaren crossing the line. It's Semi-Pro, then Dermy just in behind. Sir L jumps to the top of the table. Sir LJB, 1 minute 7.294. Only just pips Banana to the post. Kickback Kiwi crossing the line on the medium tyre as well. That's a pretty respectable time. I believe that was Grim Reaper who crossed the line. It was, with a 1 minute 7.750. With such a short lap time, expect times to be very, very close. I wouldn't be at all surprised if the entire field of 17 cars wasn't separated by anything greater than about 1.6, maybe 1.5 seconds across the entire field. So qualifying is very, very competitive. You cannot afford to make any sort of mistake. Roscoe Arm, Breno on outlaps. Is Breno in front? He is, so we'll go with Breno first. Dry for qualifying, cloudy, but fine for the race. Thank you, Roscoe Arm, for the weather report. So that's good to hear that there'll be no rain interfering with this race. As the Rock jumps to the top of the table with a 1 minute 7.252. 400 separating the top two. That's how close it is here in qualifying. There's a Williams off at Junso at turn 12. He gets back on safely. Doesn't interfere with anyone. My word, Brenner was close to the Rock then. Trying to get a sneaky little toe there. He's purple in the first sector. Through turns 4 and 5, the Cedar do Lago. It's a nice exit. Stays to the left-hand side for Ferradura. Double apex. Right-hander of turn 6 and 7 into turn 8. The hairpin, third gear on the throttle. Fourth gear back down to second. No, he'll keep it in third. Interesting. Short shift to fourth. Sideways. Just ever so briefly. Around the hairpin. Turn 11. Into Mergulo. Turn 12. Then turn 13, sorry. I thought Junso was turn 12. No, it's turn 13. And up the hill. Around Subida de Boxes. And into Arquibancadas. For the final corner on this racetrack. Turn 15. Crossing the line. There's 1 minute 8.2. On the medium tyre, that's not too bad at all. He's only 2/10 off Kickbutt Kiwi. And he made a mistake, as we saw on that lap. F1 Hawk in the Haas on a flying lap. Coming around the second sector, around turn 12, to the tricky braking zone of Junsao. It's one of the more tricky braking zones for me as a driver to get right. You just, especially on the pad, when you're turning through turn 12, you have to line the car up just right into turn 13. And if you don't, you really get an awkward run, and you ruin the run through the third sector. Which is quite long and very, very fast. So if you stuff up Junso in any way, shape or form, your lap is pretty much ruined, more or less. A few drivers on out laps. Roscoe Arm was on a flying lap. He's pulled out. What about our newly crowned champion? What can he do? He's coming through the second sector now. Really tight technical sector. It's another nice thing about Interlagos. It has a little bit of everything. This 4.3 kilometer racetrack. Quite unique in a way to be such a short racetrack, but to have pretty much everything: high, medium and low speed corners, long straights, short straights. Parts that require demand from the chassis, parts that require demand from the aerodynamics. And of course, straight line speed is another important part here. Crossing the line does a 1 minute 7.363. Goes to fourth place on the leaderboard. Roscoe Arm on another flyer. Making his way round the second sector. Heading up the hill towards Ferradura. Hello, Banana. Good to see you're watching. No pressure, mate. I know you like this track. I know you like this track a lot. Around turn 11 into turn 12. Very, very fast through here. That ends sector 2 into the 3rd sector. Somewhat weirdly, they don't count this little kink here as a corner for some reason on the official track map. This is a corner, and so is this one here. But that little kink after the 90-degree left-hander of Junso is not a corner for whatever reason. God, you hate official track maps, don't you? It looks like a corner, you turn for it like a corner, but it's not a corner. According to the official track map, it's just annoying. It's what it is. As a commentator, I have to try and not confuse that for turn 14. This is turn 14 here. But Edmund coming towards the start-finish line, crossing the line, is 1 minute 7.772. Stays P10. Currently the top 10 separated by half a tenth of a second. That might change though. Banana Cake Pie crossing the line. Does a 1 minute 7.109. Goes to pole position by a tenth and a half. The Rock, what can he do to counter what Banana has just done? There's still plenty of time left in the session as well. 8 minutes around a racetrack that is just under 70 seconds long. So drivers effectively could get 2 flying laps out of the time remaining. If they're efficient, they might get 3. Efficient and a bit lucky. Where's Sorrell? Sorrell's beginning his lap. Off the circuit is Banana, I believe. Giving room to the Rock on a Fly, who is down in the 2nd sector. He needs to make it up here. Absolutely flat out section. Sticking to the left-hand side for as long as he... Oh, into... Oh dear. He decides to pull into the pits very, very last minute there. I guess he saw no point in continuing on with the lap. He must have been down quite a bit. Entei, who is substituting in for this race, currently 7th. He just caused a yellow flag there at the exit of turn 7. But Sorrell coming up and over the crest through turn 14, heading towards turn 15. 104, 105, 106, 107, 283. He only improves by 1/100th of a second. Not the improvement he was looking for, I'm sure. But luckily there's still time left in the session to try and better that. Curving coming into the pits, he's currently 4th. Dre, did he just improve then, or is he on a flying lap now? No, he's on a flying lap now. Through the Center S into Curva de Sol. Sticking to the left-hand side. This is a 2019 technique as OP Magic jumping to the top of the table with a 1 minute 7.053. He's half a tenth quicker than Banana at the moment. What can Dre do to respond? He's very, very quick racing driver. I'm not sure what his opinion is of this racetrack. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Coming through turn 9 into turn 10. This brief little kink is turn 10. Then into turn 11. And turn 12 into the critical turn 13. This will make or break his lap. See, you sort of have to run on that sort of dense grass on the outside. Try and open up turn 13 as much as you can towards the final corner on the racetrack. Absolutely flat out at 230 kilometers an hour. Crossing the line, he goes 3rd overall with a 1 minute 7.080. His teammate has just pipped him by 13/1000ths of a second. And he's currently 14/1000ths of a second behind OP Magic. You can't get closer than this, ladies and gentlemen. Very few racetracks you see times like this. 1 second. I repeat, 1 sec. Actually, no. 7/10ths of a second is separating the top 14. Not 1 second. That is 7/10ths of a second separating the top 14. That's how competitive it is here. As Edmund that 14th place driver is going to begin another flying lap, making his way through the center S. We'll see what his first sector split says. Sticking to the left-hand side, minimizing distance. Back over to the right, and he's down in the first sector. He'll be looking to improve in the second. Got a few drivers crossing the line, few drivers going into the pits. Seems like Conrad Strait is on a flying lap, heading towards the start-finish line now. What is he going to do? A 7.3. He improves by a 10th and a half and goes P9. Kickbutt Kiwi, he's almost up by 2/10 of a second. He's looking to crack the top 4. Let's see what he can do around the final corner, up and towards the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 7.141. He goes 5th fastest, just outside the top 4. Oh my, this is ridiculously close. And that's Roscoeum. I believe he just completed his flying lap, jumping up to 10th place overall. Edmund has decided to go back into the pit, so he wasn't able to improve. Grim Reaper up by 2.5 tenths. He's looking maybe an 8th fastest time. Let's have a look when he crosses the line. 13th. He actually lost time in the final sector. But look at the competitiveness here at Interlagos. It's absolutely unbelievable. F1 Hawk, what about him? What can he do? Coming around. Oh, is he pulling in? He is. He's going into the pits. Pulls it up well, actually. Very well. But 3 drivers are in the 17 deads. 3 drivers in the 7 deads. 2 drivers in the 7 ones. 2 drivers in the 7 twos. 2 drivers in the 7 threes. 2 drivers in the 7 fours. 2 drivers in the 7 fives. We have a 7.6 of F1 Hawk and a 7.7 of Edmund. That is actually ridiculous of how close this is right now. And with 2 and a bit minutes left in this session, we've got drivers on out laps. This might be their final lap in qualifying. One of them hasn't come out yet though. That's OP Magic. He's waiting. But Semi-Pro's on an out lap. So is Harass. And Grim Reaper is on an in lap. That's the Williams in the 3rd sector right now. But Semi-Pro will be the first of these drivers to set a flying lap. Hopefully he can crack into the 7s. If he can really nail a lap time here. Down through turn 1, 3rd gear, 4th gear. He now has to deal with the traffic coming out of the pits, which may prove to be a little bit of a problem. Harass is not too far behind as well. There goes Dermy, just letting cars through. Into Decido do Lago. Turn 4, then turn 5. There is a Williams in front, gets out of the way. Very, very well done there, Conrad. But there comes a Harass now. He's on a flying lap. What's Conrad going to do here? A very wide line. Oh, a somewhat compromised run there by Harass. He might have felt a little bit impeded there. But just missing his braking point a little bit, almost going into the Williams. And he pulls off to the side. Oh, a Semi-Pro makes a mistake as well. So the next car, I believe, is... Oh, no, sorry. GeForce Dre is the next car. We'll stay on board with... Banana though, we'll be able to see both here making their way around the 2nd sector. Banana will be a little bit compromised, I would think, being stuck behind. Oh, there's F1 Hawk. GeForce Dre getting that dirty air, and look at that, he's almost 3/10 down in the 1st sector. So what's Dre got in terms of a lap time? What has he got? Up and towards the start-finish line. Banana's going into the pits. His qualifying's done. Dre improves, but it's not enough for pole. Banana's retired from the session. I wonder if something happened between him and Dre. I'm not sure. But OP Magic is going to cross the start-finish lane to begin his final flying lap. He is looking like he's going to take pole position. There are a few drivers, though, who are ready to challenge that. Kickbutt Kiwi, one of them. The Rock making his way round as well. Sir L making his way around Jun So. What can he do in the final sector? Hugging the inside line. Opens DRS. Around the final corner. Crossing the line. There's a 1 minute 7.174. It's not enough for pole. He goes 6th fastest. That is actually astonishing how close that is at the moment. Kickback Kiwi has invalidated. What about The Rock? He's up by a 10th. What about OP Magic? He's done. His qualifying's over. He's invalidated as well. Is there anyone who can snatch pole position away? Edmund has gone 7th fastest. What about The Rock? I think he might be in with a shot. Breno's out. What about Curving? He's up. No, he's going into the pits. So I believe, out of everyone left, it's down to The Rock. I don't think Dre will be improving. So it's all up to this Ferrari. Ente, hello, where did you come from? 1 minute 7.045. He's taken pole by 8/1000ths of a second. What can The Rock do? Around the final corner, up and towards the line. It's a 1 minute 7.2. He doesn't improve. Roscoe, he's going to cross the line as well. Probably furious with himself, it seems. But how about that? The substitute gets pole. A bit astonished as well. The pole time in Tier 2 is slower than the pole time in Tier 3 by 2/10. But of course, track condition probably has something to do with that, I imagine. But there we go. Qualifying done and dusted. And the top 16 are in the 1 minute 7s. 1 second separates the top 16. That is actually dumb. Didn't get a good run for turns 1 and 2. Couldn't get the time back. Ah, there you go. Sorry to hear, Banana. Oh well. Qualifying 5th though. It's not a bad place to start. But it's Entei, the substitute, starting on pole by 8/1000ths of a second. In fact, from P1 all the way down to P6, which is Kickbutt Kiwi, they're all within a 10th of each other. How about that? OP in P2, Dre in P3, Harass 4th, Banana 5th, Kiwi 6th, Sorel in 7th, Edmund in 8th, Hawk in 9th, The Rock rounding out the top 10, Breno in 11th, Curving Texas in 12th, Conrad Strait in 13th, Roscoe in 14th, Grim Reaper in 15th, Dermy in 16th, but Semi-Pro rounding out the field in 17th place. The only driver outside of the 1 minute 7s, only just by 2/10ths of a second. But how about that, folks? Only in Brazil, honestly. Here and probably Austria are the only places where you can see something like that. Overcast conditions, as Roscoe pointed out in the YouTube chat. But no obvious signs of rain. But this is a Codemasters game, so who the hell knows? There's clouds, there's a chance for wet weather. So we'll have to wait and see how that all pans out. Drivers will be deciding what kind of strategy to go with. I think the way to go is probably a softer hard strategy. You can make the softer medium work, but the hard tyre is a pretty nice race tyre, as I've worked out in Tier 3 just about an hour prior. The hard tyre works pretty well. It can last about 25 laps, I imagine. You can get out of it. I did 24. And the front right tyre, that's the tyre you have to look out for, is the front right. It got up to 73%. And once it gets over 70% with the tyre wear, there is quite a high chance that you'll just get a puncture randomly. So drivers have to be a little bit careful about that. Drivers making their way around on the formation lap as well, something I failed to mention at the end of qualifying. All of the top 10 will be starting on the soft compound tyre, as you can see there. Outside of it, however, Breno, Curving Texas in P11, P12, starting on the medium tyre. It'll be interesting to see what they do in this race. Conrad Strait, Roscoe on the softs, planning to make some positions up early in the race. Grim Reaper on the medium, same as Semi-Pro in 17th place. But the man in 16th has gone a bit unorthodox, starting on the hard tyre. Dermy, nothing to lose in that position, everything to gain. So that could quite possibly work out for him, especially if there's a bit of luck on his side. But if qualifying is anything to go by, this should be an incredibly competitive race, with drivers so incredibly close to each other in terms of pace. What it will mean is that any mistake by any driver at any stage during this race will be incredibly costly. Time penalties, half spins, full spins, an incorrect strategy as well would be very, very costly. Banana Cake Pie ran into... Oh, sorry, no. Kiwi hit the back of Banana because the field was going so incredibly slowly. So those two getting disqualified after making contact with each other. So they might have to deal with a bit cold tyres, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see. But the leaders are now making their way round back onto the grid. And they'll line up into their respective grid slots. We'll just wait on Semi-Pro at the back of the field to just line up in his. Well, actually, it'll be Dermy as Semi-Pro has overtaken Dermy on the formation lap, as the II will do that sometimes. Get the telemetry up. Fantastic. So we'll just be waiting on Derby to line up into his grid slot. There we go. And we're all good to go here at Interlagos. I have a feeling this is going to be one of the races of the season. Let's find out. We have 5 red lights and it's lights out and away we go here in Brazil. And we already have a glitch leaderboard. I haven't seen this on the first lap, but it's Entei who leads into turn 1. Side-by-side action through turn 1, through the center S in general, through turn 2, into turn 3, spin! Spin! That is Sir LJB spinning round at turn 2. He falls to the back of the field. Hopefully the leaderboard will fix itself when they cross into the first sector split. Here we go, 3 wide, go the midfield. Into, oh dear, this is going to be nasty. Through the seat of the logo. Oh, and the Ferrari into the wall! That must have been the Rock. The Rock went into the wall. And Grim Reaper, I think, went into the wall as well, potentially. Sector 2, yellow flags. Let's have a look. Oh, yes, that very much so. That front wing is quite damaged on that Williams. Back up to the leaders, shall we? Through Bico de Pato. Turn 11 on the racetrack. Go the midfield. And the leaders towards Junso for the first time of 36 here in Brazil. And it's Entei who leads. OP Magic in second. GeForce Dre losing a little bit of time in third. But he's steadily closing in on the top 2 now. Harass his teammate just in behind. Banana Cake Pie holding on to 5th place for now. As we have a leaderboard glitch once again. We'll just have to wait another lap. As Grim Reaper goes into the pits to get a front wing change. Now the hard tyres won't make it to the end, I know this. Because I did the exact same thing in Tier 3. So, he better pit for something like soft tyres or another set of mediums. Either that, put the hard tyres on and just pray for a safety car at some stage. And he's going to put on the hard tyre. Maybe there will be a safety car. You never know. You never ever know. Here come the leaders through turn 9. In the second sector through turn 10 towards turn 11. And OP is just nicely on the back of Entei. Coming through turn 12. The Rock also had a front ring replacement. He had to get that changed. Oh, GeForce Dre wide, very wide through turn 13. Luckily, he didn't lose too much time. His teammate Harass wasn't really able to capitalize on it either. But now we begin lap 3. DRS is now enabled. After we had the leaderboard glitches, they're now done and dusted. We don't have to worry about them anymore. Hopefully. Through Curva de Sol. I wonder if OP is going to attack here. He's not quite close enough. He's not quite close enough to attack. Neither is GeForce Dre. But all of these guys will be steadily gaining on the leader. Everyone else very, very close together. I suspected, just going off qualifying, how close everyone was. This is the biggest gap in this sort of train here between Breno and Curving Texas. It's almost 1 second. If you can get back within 1 second, you'll be able to use DRS on the long straightaway heading towards turn 1. As OP Magic nice and in behind here, looking to attack through turn 14. He's sitting in the slipstream. He's going to use DRS. Will he use overtake here? No, he won't. Entei is though. That's why he's staying in front. GeForce Stray just staying in behind through the center S once again. Turn 1, turn 2. OP Magic is right in behind the Red Bull, applying plenty of pressure. Uses a hint of overtake coming around Curva de Sol. And Entei using overtake a little bit, I imagine, just pulling away slightly from OP Magic. And I do know that Entei uses low drag setups. It's a bit of information that I got from some of the drivers in Tier 3. So I imagine he'll be very, very quick in a straight line. It'll be difficult to pass even with DRS enabled. Look at this train of cars. Fantastic stuff. Hopefully one of these battles that are taking place right now stay like that throughout the rest of the race. Would be fantastic to watch, I reckon. OP very close, using overtake up the hill. Entei not so much. Opens DRS, uses overtake again. Here OP Magic, he's gaining on Entei. Will he send it here into turn 1? Oh, he showed the nose. Entei compromises his line into the center S, but holds the position. Through Curva de Sol, turn 3. Bit of an awkward line there from OP Magic. Uses overtake, opens DRS. He's going to move to the inside. Coming into Descida do Lago. Can he get the job done at turn 4? Entei holding around the outside. Through turn 5, OP Magic gets the position. But can Entei counter-attack into Ferradura? Rather wisely doesn't. He stays in behind the Haas through turn 6 and 7. Oh, Dre, sideways. A bit of an understatement, really. That was incredibly sideways. How on earth did he catch that? And not lose time either. That's a fantastic bit of car control there. My word. Round turn 12 once again. Now will Entei counter-attack? He's running low on ERS. Ooh, a bit of an awkward line through 13. You can see there, OP pulls away at the exit. But that sheer straight line speed of the Red Bull is absolutely enormous. Opens DRS. Let's have a look. Will he go around the outside into turn 1? There's a bit of room there. But OP firmly holding the position through turn 3. A bit of an awkward run there from Entei, but he didn't lose too much time. Opens DRS again. Will he be close enough to attack here? OP Magic defends the inside line. Entei can't attack. Here comes GeForce Dre. He's in a good position to attack. Oh, he has the inside line for turn 5, but the outside for turn 6, and he can't get the position. What about his teammate not quite close enough to capitalise? Now these guys have to be careful. They can't battle too much, because if they do, OP Magic will just pull away. They have to think more broadly. They can't think about the now. They have to think about the final 5 laps and where they're going to be in the final 5 laps. If they battle now, they may lose the chance to fight for victory. At the moment, they're driving sensibly, but Entei's losing time. In fact, he just might be outside of a second. No, I think he just got there. And I only mean just got there in the end. But look at the amount of time. Almost 3/10 he's gained. Almost 4/10 he's gained on OP Magic down this pit straight alone. It really shows you how much straight line speed he has in this Red Bull. Through turn 2 into turn 3. Curva de Sol. It's a nice run. He wasn't quite close enough here to attack. Or is he? OP just might have to defend here. He does. Into turn 4. OP Magic goes back onto the racing line. Through turn 4 into turn 5 once again. In the background, there's some guys scrapping it out for positions as well. What's going on back here? Oh, hello. Through turn 5, these 3 go. Conrad, Roscoe and Breno, first penalty of the night. Semi-Pro in 14th place, a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. And we just had sort of a brief 3-wide moment at turn 4. My, oh my. Everything's happening and I don't quite know where to look. I'm just going to keep an eye on the leaders. This is where the important stuff is happening right now. And at the moment, it is a 7-way fight with Curving Texas in 8th place on the medium tyre. A fantastic start for the Alfa Romeo driver. Hopefully he'll be able to capitalise as Entei around the outside. Bit of a Max Verstappen move, but can't get it done. through the second part of the center S into Curva de Sol again. He is closer this time round. He will be able to pass OP Magic, I'm sure. Opens DRS, looks around the outside, heading towards turn 4. That's a horrible camera shot. And he gets the position. Dre, very deep on the brakes, almost went into the back of OP Magic. But he stays in P3. Luckily, he didn't make any contact because wing damage in a situation like this would be absolutely disastrous. But, my oh my. It's all happening at the moment. We're 8 laps in. I swear, it's felt longer than that. It feels longer than 8 laps. But it is what it is. It's only 8 laps. Entei through turn 13. Junsao up the hill once again. Now, is OP Magic in a place to overtake here? 7/10 separating the top 2. I don't think he's quite close enough to attack Entei. You can see there he's not really gaining any time on the Red Bull either using DRS. It really does show the sheer straight line speed of that Red Bull. 3-second penalty for Banana Cake Pie. So one of the leading group of cars has now got a penalty he has to deal with. Pretty much what you have to do is just ignore it. Keep doing what you're doing. You're with the leaders, that's the important thing. You never know, a bit of luck might go your way. Kickback Kiwi and F1 Hawk having a scrap for 6th place here. Oh, deep on the brakes is the Haas. Luckily doesn't go into the back of the Racing Point. There's Curving Texas in P8 on the medium tyre as well. He's in a very nice place on that medium tyre. I wonder what he's going to do. Is he going to go medium to soft or medium to hard? It's really up to him at this stage. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, deep on the brakes, Curving. Very deep. Back up towards the leaders, I suppose. Entei, only 4/10 ahead this time round. OP nice and in behind. Roscoe Arm has overtaken Conrad for 10th place, the final point scoring position, but there's still a lot of racing to go ahead as Kickback Kiwi and F1 Hawk side by side into the center S. This could be nasty. Oh, through Curve of the Soul, they're still side by side, bumping off the racetrack. Kickback Kiwi, a bit nasty there, I must say. Just bumped him off there at turn 3. I'm sure the stewards are going to have a look at that. Curving is now on the front foot, wanting to attack through Desida de Lago, heading towards Ferradura. Kickback Kiwi holding the inside line. He should be able to keep the position, but Curving Texas around the outside holds it. But he still has the outside line for the hairpin of turn 8, but has the inside for turn 9. He just might be able to get the position. He has! He's into 6th place. A fantastic little bit of racecraft there from the Alfa Romeo. He's into 6th place, but he's a fair way behind the top 5. The penalty for battling so hard like those 3 have. They have now fallen away from the top 5. They've got a lot of work to do. Back towards the leaders. OP Magic not quite close enough again to attack. But I think in this sort of position, he just needs to conserve. Save up your resources, which is exactly what he's doing. Look at that. Almost 90% ERS. Compare that to Entei, 13%. So Entei, he doesn't have any resources in his back pocket, whereas this man does. What about GeForce Dre? He's on 25%. Harass on 28%. Banana? Oh, geez, he's worse than Entei at the moment. GeForce Dre! Oh, no. The man in 3rd gets a 3-second time penalty. He has to deal with that. Texas still hanging on to P6 and has closed in a little bit on Banana. Interesting. So perhaps the soft tyres are starting to switch off and the mediums are becoming the better tyre now. It is lap 11. We have done a fair amount of racing. So Curving on the charge, it seems. He just might be the quickest car on the racetrack. Kickback just behind. F1 Hawk in P8, Edmund in 9th. Roscoe Arm just behind in P10. In fact, he'll get DRS this lap. Oh, as GeForce Dre has overtaken OP Magic. This is for 2nd place. No, OP must have made a mistake. Look at the gap. Oh, as Harass around the outside at turn 1 into the center S. Turn 2, can't hold on. Oh, but OP opens the door. Interesting. What about Banana? What can he do? He's not quite close enough to capitalise. But Harass, OP, side by side down the Retro Aposta into Desida do Lago. Can OP hang on around the outside? He can. A semi-pro, another 3-second time penalty next to his name. Banana, is he close enough to attack? No, he's just going to sit in behind, play the patient game. It might be a very wise thing for him to do. Let's see what else is happening. We've got this going on for P6. What else? Got Breno, Sorel and Conrad. That's P10, 11 and 12. F1 Hawk also went into the pits. I failed to notice this. He's now in 15th place, a fair way behind the field. But he's got fresh air. He's able to put the hammer down, set some consistent and fast lap times. He should get an undercut on his rivals, but we'll have to wait and see. Entei in. GeForce Dre stays out. OP stays out. Harass is in. Pulls it up nicely. Who else is in? I think Banana Cake Pie is one of them. Edmund is another. It's a double stack for Renault. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. That's a slightly compromised stop here for Edmund. That is very disappointing. He needs to try and recover the time lost. It's not easy to do around a circuit as competitive as this. Sorel steadily gaining on Conrad here. He might be challenging that P6 position. Just in front, Keeper Kiwi battling still with Curving Texas. Curving on the alternate strategy on the medium compound tyre. Be interesting to see what this man does on the mediums. OP and Dre, top two in the championship, 1 second separating the two. Who's going into the pits? What's Dre up to? Staying out. So is OP Magic. That's interesting. Kick by Kiwi's in. Oh, this might be... Oh no, he pulls it up very well. He pulls it up very, very well. Conrad's in as well. He pulls it up very nicely. Sorel is in as well. So he's going to resume battle with the Williams in front. Pitting at the same time onto a set of medium compound tyres. What about Conrad Straight? What is he up to? Onto the hard... Sorry, both of them onto the hard. I said medium compound for Sorel. He's on the hard compound, dearie me. Top two separated by 9/10 of a second. OP just doesn't quite look quick enough to attack just yet, and Curving is gaining. He's now almost within 1 second of OP Magic in second place. Entei is behind Semi-Pro. He might be held up a little bit here by the Williams. McLaren in front. Round turn 8 into turn 9. Grim Reaper a 3-second time penalty. Or a little bit of an awkward run there through 9. Into turn 11. Pico de Pato. Into Mergulo. Turn 12. Now Entei should be able to get him on the pitch straight away. As we saw on many previous occasions, the sheer speed of this Red Bull is quite incredible. Opens DRS, uses overtake. He should be able to slingshot by the McLaren and does so with relative ease before the braking zone into the center S. He's now into 6th place. His next target is Breno 23. Banana and Dermy, and there's another racing point of Kickbutt Kiwi getting into a scrap. Dermy fighting with his sort of substitute. Well, he's the substitute. Effective teammate. Oh, what on earth? A bit of contact there between the two racing points. Is that secretly Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon driving in those cars? Deary me. It's a little bit of contact. Luckily, it didn't result in anything. Semi-Pro keeping up with Entei. That's probably a good thing. If he can get DRS on the next lap, that will be a massive benefit, but he is steadily losing time. Top two, are they coming in? GeForce Dre into the pits. And what's the Mercedes up to? Is it a hard tyre or is it the mediums? It's the mediums, and that is a Williams. That is... What is that? Is that Conrad Straight? I think it is. There he is there. At the exit of turn 11 into turn 12, he has spun. He's now down in 15th. Oh my word. Entei and Dre. Where's Dre coming out? Entei, he's exiting turn 3. Here comes Harass, GeForce Dre's teammate. He should get in front. He doesn't get in front. So Dre in second place on fresh medium tyres. Can he carry those to the end of the race? We'll have to wait and see. But Dre on fresh medium tyres, he should have a pace advantage over Entei in front. But he has to deal with Semi-Pro, who rather politely gets out of the way of both Mercedes cars. Semi-Pro, you have to realise the Mercedes affiliation doesn't come into effect until 2021. You've still got a Renault engine in the back of that thing. OP Magic into the pits. What's he up to in the harsh? A similar strategy to GeForce Dre? Let's have a look. What are the tyres? Are they the yellow sidewall? Yes, they are. Onto the mediums, like Dre. And he'll have slightly fresher tyres. So we have a new leader that is curving Texas on 16-lap-old medium tyres. Just shows you the longevity of this medium tyre. Can go a fair way into this race. Roscoe Arm in second place on the softs, just praying for a safety car, I imagine. Breno in third, Entei in fourth, with a very quick GeForce Dre hunting him down on fresh medium compound tyres. Harassed in sixth place with OP Magic riding behind. Banana Cake Pie overtaking Semi-Pro, that is for 8th. Kickback Kiwi is just in behind Semi-Pro in 10th. He's got a battle with Banana that he wants to get to, so he has to pass this McLaren relatively quickly. Oh, but the McLaren makes it easy for him. Semi-Pro, half spinning. Oh, dear God. Gets back onto the racing line very safely. And away he goes. He might have to come into the pits. His tyres will be a bit out of temperature now. Maybe slap on the hard tyre if he wants to. GeForce Dre showing his pace, setting new fastest lap of a 1 minute 9.723. Harass on the back. Sorry. Yeah, Harass on the back of OP Magic. So OP must have overtaken Harass on the pit straight. Harass trying to keep OP honest, but OP on those fresher, softer tyres should have a pace advantage, you would think. And Roscoe Arm in 9th place on those fresh mediums. He's just put himself in a fantastic position in terms of strategy. He's got the freshest tyres out of the lot, and he's also in the points. So his race is looking very, very good, and no penalties so far. And also we have two drivers yet to make a stop. We're curving Texas and Breno. Both of them are probably going to stretch it to a soft stint for the end of the race. And now GeForce Dre in behind Entei, ready to attack, heading through the center S. Not good enough for him. Let's have a look into Desida du Lago. Round the outside, that's a ballsy move from GeForce Dre, but he makes it stick round turn 5. A superb move there. Roscoe Arm, oh dear, I just said he was looking good. He just got himself a 3-second time penalty. I am very sorry, Roscoe Arm. I just gave you the commentator's curse. But there's still a long, long, long way to go in this race. Almost anything can happen, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if a few more drivers got time penalties. So how is this battle going to pan out? Entei on the hard tyre. His tyres should go to the end. But what are those mediums going to look like at the end of the race? How much pace will GeForce Dre lose towards the end? And also the sheer straight line speed of that Red Bull. Surely they'll keep Entei in contention. And here comes OP Magic. He's gaining on Entei a little bit here as well. So I guess from GeForce Dre's perspective, his genuine rival in this race is probably OP Magic. We'll have to see what Entei can do on those hard tyres. He is a part of this battle now, but whether he will be in the next 8 or 10 laps, we'll have to wait and see. OP Magic steadily closing in on Entei, closing in on that 4th place. Looking at the rest of the field, shall we? Harass is under attack here from Banana Cake Pie. This is for 6th place. Roscoe Arm making up a position. He's into 8th now, overtaking Kick Butt Kiwi. He's now hunting down the Renault. He wants that 7th place, and these two are genuinely fighting for position as they both have the same amount of time penalties. Let's have a look. Not much else going on in the rest of the field. Field's fairly spread out. Roscoe Arm, new fastest lap time, 1 minute 9.590 he set. I believe he was about 2/10 quicker than Dre when he set his fastest lap time. Banana, very, very low on ERS there. You can see that. Roscoe Arm, just in behind. He'll be very quick through here, through the 2nd sector. Look at the amount of ground he just gained there in the braking zone through turn 6. Into turn 8, then turn 9. You can see he's very, very close. Semi-Pro has retired in the pit lane. He's our first retirement in this race. Through turn 11, into turn 12. Now Roscoe Arm desperately needs a good exit out of 13. Let's see what he can do. Keep an eye on that interval as well, as Curving Texas makes his pit stop. That is a magnificent exit from Roscoe Arm. Banana using that straight line speed. Both drivers will have DRS, but Banana does not have any ERS. But neither does Roscoe Arm, in fairness. He only has 10%. But a fantastic scrap here. Some different strategies going on, some hard strategies, some medium compound strategies, all coming together quite nicely. Banana defending the inside line there from Roscoe Arm. Kick Butt Kiwi is not too far behind. F1 Hawk and Sorrell side by side through turn 5. Sorrell gets the position, but F1 Hawk is not having any of it down the inside through turn 6. Into turn 7 he still has the inside. Through turn 8 he will have the inside, but Sorrell will have the inside for turn 9. Can he keep the position? Sorrell, oh dearie me, both of them. A fantastic scrap through turn 11. Still side by side into turn 12. They remain side by side, and finally Sorrell gets out in front. But that might be a deficit for the Red Bull driver, as the Haas behind will get DRS on this lap. Breno into the pits as well. He's going onto the soft tyre. That opens DRS here for F1 Hawk around the outside of the final corner, and he gets him before the braking zone into turn 1. Fantastic. But whereabouts is Curving's back into the pits, and he's proceeded to retire from the session. What has happened? He was on for an assault. Oh, he just straight up left. I'm not quite sure why. But he's out. Guess we'll have to see what he says in the Discord afterwards, I suppose. Either that or he might make a comment on the YouTube chat. But regardless, he becomes our second retirement. We have 15 cars left on the racetrack. Still plenty of cars, still plenty of action to take place here in Brazil. These guys still having a scrap, a four-way fight for 4th place. Harass, Banana, Roscoe Arm and Kick Butt Kiwi. P4, P5, P6 and P7. All scrapping it out here through the center S. I believe that's Curving Texas's car, parked on the outside of turn 4. There it goes, it just despawned. Here we go, into turn 4. Banana not quite close enough again to attack Harass. Sorrell and F1 Hawk still scrapping it out. My word. They're absolutely loving this scrap. Constantly fighting for 8th place. It's absolutely fantastic. I've just seen a couple of comments pop up. I got stuck in the pit lane behind a retired car. Oh, no way. No way. Seriously. Where have I seen that before? Where did I see that before? That was a race that I commentated on. It was in another league at Singapore, where a car retired in the pit lane and it parked at the exit of the pits just before the sort of or maybe just after, where you take off the limiter, and anyone who is coming through the pit lane just stops. I have seen that before. That is so unfortunate for you, Kirby. I really do feel for you. I really, really do. You just hate it when it's not your fault. It's not even your equipment or anything like that. It's just a game deciding to screw you over. It's always unfortunate when something like that happens. Anywho, this battle is still going. Banana really isn't able to get himself into a position to attack, harass for 4. He's close, he's sort of even on pace with the Mercedes, but he's just not quite in a position to attack. Roscoe Arm with that awesome revving glitch that we get every so often. Into the center S. He's close, but he too, he doesn't have the momentum to try and attack. And Kickbutt Kiwi just got 3 seconds. Oh dear. Oh my word. Top 2 now separated by 2.7 seconds. And this is critical for G-Force Dre if he wants to take victory here in Brazil. I reckon you did too. On those fresh soft tyres, I reckon you would have had a shot curving, at least a podium, I reckon. And also determining how penalties would have worked out with some of the leaders. Yeah, for sure. I reckon you were in a chance for a very, very good result, but game be like that sometimes. It's really dumb, it's unfortunate, but kind of it is what it is, I suppose. But I have seen that before at a league race at Singapore, where a driver retires in the pit lane and the car just sort of stops at the exit, and when another car is coming through, the car coming through the pit lane, when it gets towards the pit exit, because the AI recognizes there's a car in front, the car stops. It doesn't like go through, it doesn't recognize as a ghost car, it stops, it recognizes it as a car in front, so it will stop. I have seen that before. But yeah. Fortunately, not much you can do about it. Unfortunately. These 4 still so close together. Also that battle for 8th that was going on. F1 Hawk in 8th place. Sorel JB in 9th. Keeping the Haas honest. Desperately trying to stay within 1 second to keep this fight alive. These 4. Oh, Kickbutt. He's in a good position here. Oh, he's run out of ERS though. Will he send it? Oh, a little bit of contact, maybe. Just maybe a little bit of contact. Through the center S, into turn 3. Oh, dearie me. Very close on the brakes. Again, Banana close, but no Cigar. Can't quite attack for the position just yet. Through turn 6. Into turn 8. I forgot to mention turn 7. There's 2 corners in that right hand, sort of double apex right hander. Through turn 10 into turn 11, the hairpin. My word. Right on board with Banana. Obviously using that easy mode. Using that traction control. He does have to be a little bit careful with tyre wear when you're using traction control tyre, where it is a little bit worse when you have it turned on. But he needs a really good run through here. Either that or he needs Harass to make a bit of a mistake. See, Harass very much under control. You're not attacking him this time round either. You're close, but again, no cigar. We'll have a look at what's going on back here. Side-by-side action. Edmund and Dermy, this is for 12th place. Will Dermy attack around the outside into turn 4? He most certainly will. Racing Point just slotting in behind. Getting ready for the technical second sector. Breno is steadily closing in on Sorel as well. So we just might have a three-way fight here for 8th place. F1 Hawk also a 3-second time penalty that he has to deal with. That's going to complicate his race just a little bit. Some extra stuff he has to deal with. Again, these guys all in a trade. Harass is doing a superb job in front, just holding on to the position. It clearly shows that Harass is the quickest out of this bunch here. Although Roscoe Arm on those fresher tyres, you would have thought he'd be quicker. Oh, I reckon he's thinking of a move there. Who knows? Maybe the boldest will come out on top here. Maybe you need to do a once-in-a-lifetime move to try and get by one of these guys. You need to be assertive. Drive on the front foot. Try and put your nose in. Try and have the driver in front of you just move a little bit. You know, proper hard racing. Oh, that revving glitch is just amazing, isn't it? I reckon Roscoe Arm just might attack here. No, he won't. He's not close enough again. My word. What a scrap we have here. What a scrap. Just behind, F1 Hawk still has 8th place, but Sorel JV is keeping him honest. Steadily gaining on the Haas here, on the brakes here at turn 4, while the McLaren of Breno is slowly but surely reeling the two in front in, hoping to turn it into a three-way scrap for the final 3 point scoring position. Meanwhile, the two out in front, GeForce Dre and OP Magic, currently have a lead of 3.2 seconds. Well, GeForce Dre has a lead of 3.2, which is just enough to get victory here in Brazil, unless of course he gets another penalty. He's running quite low on ERS as well. Look at the amount of ERS that OP Magic has saved up. He is saving up for a last minute push is what he's saving up for. He's trying to keep within at least 4 seconds of the car. And what sector 1 yellow flags? Let's kick back Kiwi. I wonder if he was trying to make a move on Roscoe Arm, went down the inside and potentially hit the side pod of the Ferrari, causing him to spin out. I reckon that's probably what happened there. But now he's in the battle for what was 8th place between F1 Hawk Sorel, and now Breno's definitely got involved in this. Dermy setting new fastest lap time in 12th place. So he's definitely flying out there at the moment. Unfortunately, he's down in 12th at this stage. Oh, well, this battle here is taking a slightly different scope now. Was a 4-way battle, now a 3-way scrap for 4th. And Harass is in prime position to take that. 4 laps to go. Gap between the top two, 4.1 seconds. OP Magic needs to string together some pretty good laps here. You can see there, GeForce Dre has spent all of his resources. He's got nothing left. Breno overtaking Sorel I just saw that. He's now into 9th place, but he won't get any DRS here, whereas Sir L will. But Breno is too far out in front. He should hang on to 9th place, and does so. F1 Hawk, now within DRS range of Kickbutt Kiwi. Both of these guys have 3-second time penalties, so they're both genuinely scrapping it out for position. We'll just go back to them in a little while. We'll go back to this, shall we? Harass, Banana, Roscoe Arm. My word. P4, P5, P6. Around the final corner. Is Roscoe Arm close enough this time round? Not quite. What about Banana? He's not quite close enough either. Banana not being assertive, not driving on the front foot, and Roscoe Arm just doesn't have the momentum to try and overtake, although he just might do now. Banana defending a little bit. Roscoe Arm, is he going to send it? No, he's not. Plays a slightly more patient game. Now this will be the interesting thing. Look at the ERS he has saved. OP Magic, 70-odd%. He has to do qualifying laps now. He's going to have to send it on these final 2 laps. And I'm sure that's exactly what he is going to do. That gap has shrunk to 3.6 seconds. These guys have 2 laps to go. 8.6 kilometers worth of racing left in this race. Grim Reaper, 3 seconds next to his name. This is it. The battle for the lead is officially on. 0.4 of a second separating the two. Through Center S into Curva du Sol. Onto the Retro-Aposta. Doesn't use any overtake quite just yet. Gap is 0.5 second. Dre is spending every last inch of resources that he has left. Through Ferradura. Into turn 7, then turn 8. OP Magic, the gap has shrunk to 3.4 seconds. Edmund gives a 3-second time penalty. What about this scrap? Harass Banana and Roscoe Arm. I wonder if things are going to get desperate between these 3. I just wonder. F1 Hawk. He's still on the back of Kickbutt Kiwi. That gap of about 0.8 of a second. OP. Now 0.3. That's how much he needs to find. 0.4 actually he needs to find on this final lap. Lap 36 of 36 has begun. The gap is 3.3 seconds. Can he do it in this final 4.3 kilometers of this race? Through the Center S. The gap is 3.2 now. Through Curva de Sol onto the Retro-Aposta. Is he going to save everything for the final straight? I reckon he just might. Running very low on fuel is G4 Stray. He has spent absolutely everything to try and stay in front. Banana has also overtaken Harass for 4th place. And G4 Stray gets another penalty. The pressure was too much for the newly crowned champion. And actually, no, he won't lose 2nd place to Entei. The gap is just too big. But that's it. Unless, of course, OP manages to get another penalty. OP Magic manages to get his first penalty, not another. Around Junso for the final time. G4 Stray will come around the final corner to cross the line in 1st place, but the win will go to OP Magic. He wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Entei, a superb performance, will finish on the podium in 3rd. Harass will get 4th. Banana Cake Pie drops down to 6th place because of penalties. Kickbutt Kiwi drops down to 9th place because of penalties. Breno, a fantastic finish, finishes in 7th. Sorel JB in 8th, and F1 Hawk rounding out the point scorers in 10th. My oh my, there were some battles in that race, and that was proving to be quite an interesting final lap. Even if G4 Stray didn't get that final penalty, that extra 3-second time penalty, OP Magic was looking like he was going to take victory. But that more or less confirmed it there for GeForce Dre that he was going to finish in second. Holy moly, I said it was going to be good. Roscoe driver of the day performance. We'll have a look at the unofficial results after these podium celebrations. Well done, OP. Made it work. Shows you the importance of not making mistakes, especially around a circuit as competitive as this one. A deserving victory, a fine performance from GeForce Dre, and of course Entei qualifying on pole, a fantastic achievement for him. And to end up on the podium, I reckon he'll be pretty pleased with that, especially after what happened in Tier 3 for him, after he unfortunately lagged out of the session and wasn't able to rejoin. But the unofficial results for this Brazilian Grand Prix is that OP Magic wins by 3.5 seconds effectively over GeForce Dre, with Entei in third, Harass in a fine fourth, Roscoe in fifth, from 14th on the grid. No wonder he was given driver of the day. That is 9 positions made. A fine performance from the Ferrari driver. Banana Cake Pie in 6th, Brano in 7th, Sir LJB in 8th, Kickbutt Kiwi in 9th, and F1 Hawk rounding out the point scoring finishes in 10th, Edmund in 11th, Dermy in 12th, The Rock in 13th, Conrad Strait in 14th, and Grim Reaper in 15th, and the 2 non-finishers, Curving Texas and Semi-Pro. My oh my. No one gets the fastest lap point. That appears to have gone to Dermy. That was there was a lot that happened in that race. A lot that happened in that race. Oh. Didn't really quite know where to look half the time. It's good to see you enjoyed yourself, Banana, with that race. Ah, my oh my. That's why I love this place. I love Interlagos, man. It's not a racetrack where I've, as a driver, have had particularly good results, but there is no denying there is something that is just magical about that place. And to even remotely think of replacing it, to me, is completely mind-boggling. Like, why bother building another racetrack when you've already got one of the most magical places in the world of motorsport? It's like, I don't know, building a new racetrack in Belgium and racing on that instead of Spa. It's literally the equivalent. Interlagos has such a rich history in motorsport and an inept ability to generate just simply magnificent racing, and it proved it again tonight. Some good battles, some close, very close battles, some differing strategies that went on, an unfortunate thing that happened to Curving. It would have been interesting to see how that soft stint would have went for him. Drivers doing soft to medium, soft to hard, working out. Turns out the soft to medium seems to be the ideal sort of strategy. But my word, absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed that. But I think that will end round 18 of this Race Spec Esports Tier 2 Pacific Series. Next week, it is the final round of this wonderful championship. And unfortunately, we're going to the worst racetrack in Formula 1 history. And oh god. We're going to Abu Dhabi, folks. Yas Marina Circuit. The $1 billion waste of time, as I like to think of it. In the real world, it has generated nothing memorable in terms of racing. But luckily in the virtual world, I have seen some decent racing around Abu Dhabi. So I pray that this wonderful season goes out with a big bang. Hopefully not with a big accident though, just with some really nice racing. Be a nice way to cap off what has been a fantastic season. But until then, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week at the Yas Marina circuit for the final round of this championship, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Until then, good night.